Hello, I'm back in Andy's room for the final time, along with Buzz Lightyear, and today I'm going to show you how to build the main mission to rescue the aliens from the evil Zergbot toys. But before I do, I want to let you know that I won't be posting any videos next week, because next week is the Thanksgiving holiday here in the US. So my next video won't be until the following week. And because we're coming up on Christmas, I'm only going to do 2 videos per week until after the holidays. So on Monday, November 29th, I'll resume my Disneyland series, and that will air on Mondays and Wednesdays as usual, but I won't be doing any videos on Fridays. So today will be my last Friday video until 2022. Alright, so now that you know my schedule for the rest of the year, let's finish up this toy box. And to save a little time, I've already placed all the Creativity toys that I'm going to need. Most of them. I still have to place Rex. But we have a collection pen here. I've got a party cannon. A counter. I've got a dynamic trigger. A radar marker. Text displayer. We have a sound generator. And an action enforcer. Up on the dresser, we have a radar marker and a enemy wave generator, and I've connected that to the 2 locators that you see there. I'll give you a good look where those are, though it doesn't really matter. And I also have our alien that I've placed down. And because I'm having trouble selecting him, I've placed him ahead of time. You'll find him in the 1.0 playset townspeople drawer if you have the Toy Story in Space playset. And I've got him placed ahead of time. I've also set his properties to have him stand still. And over here I've got 5 locators connected up to that enemy wave generator. And I've got the radar marker connected up to that guy. It's the same alien townsperson, and I've got his property set to stand still as well. I'll look at the properties on some of these things in a moment. And then out here, we've got some locators spread out in the yard, and the exact placement of these doesn't really matter. I've got 5 of them out here, and then I've got 5 of them inside the fort, as you see there, with our 3rd alien over here. And again, the properties on him, on all of them actually, I've got their behavior set to stand still. This enemy wave generator is connected up to the locators in the yard. And this one I'm going to connect up to the ones in the fort in a moment. And then I've got another radar marker out here. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with this radar marker. So we're going to do a new locator. Oops, not a locator connection. Let me start that again. We're going to do a new actor connection. We're going to connect that up to our little townsperson over here. He's going to be our actor. And for the properties on the radar marker, we're going to set the beacon type to be a yellow arrow. Beacon location needs to be the connected actor. And all the rest of the properties are fine. So this radar marker is ready to go. And I've already set the properties on these radar markers up here and connected them to their subsequent alien character. So these are already set up ahead of time the same way. I did those to save time, and also because it's hard to select them when they're sitting on top of the blocks. Alright, this enemy wave generator is connected to the locators in the yard, and I've configured the wave to save time, so you don't have to watch me scrolling through that list. But I've got 1 mini Zergbot, 1 Zergbot, 2 mini blasting Zergbots, and 1 blasting Zergbot. And for the properties on these guys, we're going to take the generation delay to 0 and disable the generation effects. All right, for this one, I've already configured the wave. I've got one Zergbot, two blasting Zergbots, and then I got a giant Zergbot and a giant blasting Zergbot. And the order of those kind of matters. We take these properties and set these properties here. They're the same as the other. So the order of those matters because the order that I connect up the locators to is going to determine where those enemies go. So you'll notice that I have the solo Zergbot and then two blasting Zergbots. I want these on the ground floor and I want these on the towers. So the first one that I connect up is where the first Zergbot's going to go. That's why I'm going to connect up to this one first. The next two locators are for the next two in that list, the blasting ones. So those will be on either side of that little tower. And then the giant ones I want up on the towers. So new locator connection. We'll put the Zergbot on that side. We'll put the giant blasting Zergbot on the other side. Okay. And I've already configured again these. So that's connected to those two locators, and the wave for this one is set with one Zergbot, one blasting Zergbot. Properties, once again, generation delay to 0, disable the generation effects. And this enemy wave generator, if we look at the wave for this one, I've got two mini Zergbots, one mini blasting Zergbot, and two blasting Zergbots. And the order that those locators are connected to doesn't really matter because I don't care necessarily where those end up. They're going to move around before we can get up here anyway. All right, so there's all the properties on all of those. Now, for the sound generator, we're going to turn off 3D sound at speaker or locator. The action enforcer does not have any properties. These three controls here are going to be for our mission giver, and this is going to keep track of the aliens that we rescue. So when we rescue the aliens, we'll go to the collection pen, open the logic menu, and on the properties we're going to remove the counted actor. On the counter, for the properties on that, the target count, let me find my counter here, target count is going to be 3. Visible display is on, 0 and off, so those are fine. And then these are for our mission giver, so let's go ahead and put in our mission giver. And our mission giver is going to be Rex. You find him under cast members. So the dynamic trigger, we're going to connect to him with a new actor connection. Stand still, Rex. And the same thing with our radar marker, new actor connection. Rex, stand still. There we go. All right, so on the dynamic trigger, for the properties on that, our target is going to be the connected actor. I'm going to set the trigger distance to 5. Oops. On the radar marker, for the properties on that, we're going to set the beacon type to be a yellow exclamation point. Beacon location needs to be the connected actor. I want this beacon on by default when we come in the toy box. And that should be good. And then finally we have our text displayer. On the properties for that, I'm going to set the text duration to 4 and text style to banner. Alright, so now all the properties are set up and now we can hook up the logic, and this really isn't all that difficult. So we're going to begin with the dynamic trigger. So when the player approaches Rex, do a new logic connection when entered by player Annie. So when the player approaches the area around Rex, we're going to come over to our text displayer, and under the missions category at the bottom, he's going to say, "I need your help." And then on the text displayer, a new logic connection when any text is displayed. We'll go ahead and turn off the dynamic trigger because we only want to do that once. On the dynamic trigger, new logic connection when entered by player Annie. We're going to come over to our radar marker and deactivate that because we don't need that anymore. New logic connection when entered by player Annie. We want to come over to each of the 3 radar markers and activate those. And I'll just show you that one. You can do the other 2, the one in the crib and the one outside. Also, new logic connection when entered by player Annie. We're going to come over and generate this wave. And we can't do all 4 of these in this toy box on my Wii U because I don't have enough memory for that. It's going to cause significant lag. So we're only going to do this for the 2 that are inside Andy's room where we are right now. So we'll do that with this one up here as well. And generate that wave. And we really don't need to generate the enemies outside until the player goes outside. And so what we can do is we'll put in a trigger area here. So I placed it in that corner. We'll go up and fill the window. And we got 2 windows, so we need to make sure we do both of them. Okay. So what we want to do is I only want to do that when the mission has begun. So on our level starter out here, we'll do a new logic connection on catalyze. We're going to come to our trigger area and deactivate it. So when we enter the toy box, the trigger area will be turned off. And it won't be till we talk to Rex that that'll come on. So on our dynamic trigger, a new logic connection when entered by player Annie, we'll go ahead and activate this trigger area. So once the mission is active and the player goes outside, then we can deal with the enemies out here. So we'll do a new logic connection on this trigger area when entered by player Annie. So when the player goes outside, then we can generate these enemies. Generate that wave. And a new logic connection when entered by player Annie. We'll go generate the other wave. Okay, and then we only want to do that once, so on this enemy wave generator we'll do a new logic connection when the wave is generated. We'll come up and deactivate the trigger area again. Okay. So there we go. That generates our enemies, turns on the radar markers, and again, don't forget to do those other two. I didn't show you, but you'll want to make sure you do that. All right, just double checking my notes to make sure I got everything, and it looks like I did. Okay, so then the player is going to go around and just defeat the Zerg bots and pick up the aliens and bring them over here to the collection pen. So the rest of the logic is driven off of the collection pen. So on here we'll do a new logic connection. When a townsperson is entered, we're going to come over to our counter first of all and increment the count by 1. And I thought it'd be nice to do a little flourish here as well, so we'll do a new logic connection on the collection pen. When a townsperson is entered, come over to our party cannon and do confetti. So kind of celebrate a little bit. All right, on the counter, once the target count of 3 is reached, because I set the target count to be 3, once all 3 of those aliens have been put in the collection pen, then we can wrap up the mission. And so on the counter, we'll do a new logic connection. When the target is reached, first thing we're going to do is come to the action enforcer and have all the players celebrate. And then we'll do a new logic connection when the target is reached. I'll come over and play my end of mission sound, which is under the musical category, fanfare. On the counter, a new logic connection when the target is reached. Let's go to the party cannon and do a grand finale. I think that would be fun. And the other thing we should do is turn off all of those radar markers. So we'll do a new logic connection when the target is reached. Come over to each of the 3 radar markers for the aliens and deactivate those. And again, I'll just show you that one. You'll want to do the one at the crib and the one outside. All right, so that is it for the main mission. And I won't test it out because you've seen me play this in the original playthrough video. There's a couple of other things we want to do. So out here, I thought it'd be nice to have Bullseye out here so you can use him to get around outdoors. So under the mounts, you'll find Bullseye right over here. We're going to drop him down so he's waiting for you when you come off of the rail slide there. And I've got a couple of object generators here. So we're going to connect these up to locators. So I've got one over here. And I've also got one under the bed over here. Just kind of hard to see, but we'll do a new locator connection. And the locator for that is right here. So on the level starter, we're going to do a new logic connection on Catalyze. And for the one under the bed, we'll come into the packs drawer, and we're going to do Buzz Lightyear's jetpack. That's where we'll put that. That's where the player will find that. And for the other one, we'll do a new level connection on the level starter, or a new logic connection, sorry, on Catalyze. We'll come over to the other toy. Under packs, we'll do the Star Command Boost Pack. There are a couple of toys that I think would be just really helpful to have and kind of fun. And then you can move these and all of the other Creativa toys below the terrain out of sight. because you don't really need these where the player can see them or tinker with them. And then the last thing you need is the ceiling, and I've already put that on, but these are basically the blocks out of the basic blocks drawer. It's the large floor, and you want to style this so that it uses the concrete 2 texture. And you'll notice how I have it kind of overlapping on top of the white trim there. And you're just going to put a whole layer of those on. Now be aware, once you do that, this is why I put that on last, is because when you come in here and you try to put Buzz on the bed, for example, I'll come out of Spark mode and out of the editor. Now it's going to do it. Normally it sticks me up on top of the roof. This time it worked. Go ahead, make a liar out of me. Let's see, what if we come down here? There, that time it did it. So that's what normally happens. And because that can be frustrating when you're trying to test things and so on, that's why I recommend putting the roof, the ceiling on last. All right, and then based on whatever memory you have left, you can put additional toys in here or games. Having a game that would use the glider pack would be really cool. Maybe a path-based thing around here with the rings, like I did in my Coco toy box or in my Flight Games toy box. That would be kind of fun. But I'm sure you have probably some of your own ideas. But with that, Andy's room is done. I hope you've enjoyed this toy box and this series. If so, please hit the like button and leave a comment to let me know. And for those of you who are building this toy box on your own system, let me remind you that I've got logic diagrams on my blog to help you connect the Creativitoys that I used today. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you can click my photo in the lower right corner. That's all for me today. Take care.